Okay, everyone, it's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. We do have Councilmember Jurinsky on, and I'm sure that Councilmember Hancock will get on when she's able. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the meeting. We have no consent items. Councilmember Jurinsky, do you approve the minutes from March 7th?
I approve.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move those forward as well. I approve as well. We have, Lori won't be here today, but we have Liz. Liz is going to be presenting 3A. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Councilmember Lawson. So this bill today is Senate Bill, federal, to be clear about that. Senate Bill 963, House Resolution 2042. They are identical bills, and it's to establish the Space National Guard. This was put forward from Congressman Crow and Congresswoman Boebert, as well as being supported by our two senators. So this would essentially create a Space National Guard. The city is recommending to support this legislation, as it would support our military community by making sure that soldiers who are serving in the National Guard can continue to stay in Colorado instead of being moved elsewhere. And it also is heavily sponsored by our Colorado delegation.
Okay. Councilmember Jurinsky, Councilmember Hancock, I do see that you're on. And Mayor Kaufman, do you have any questions regarding 3A? And do you approve moving it forward, the committee members?
I just have one question.
Okay, Mayor.
Yeah,
Mayor.
Liz, what does the acronym ARMY stand for?
Why don't you enlighten me, Mayor?
Ain't ready for the Marines yet. I want you to remember that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Right.
I will pass that on.
Thanks, Mayor. Okay, from the committee members, do you approve moving this forward and support the position of support from the city staff? Councilmember Hancock? Okay, Councilmember Jurinsky?
Yeah, I approve too.
I approve as well. Thank you, Liz. We're going to go to item number 4, our state legislative update. I do see Tatsi and Cami on. Hi, Cami. Hi, Tatsi. Hi, Peggy.
Hello, happy Friday.
Same to you.
Howdy.
And Tatsi.
I want to start with a disagreement on the mayor's position of Army. I think that is very wrong and incorrect.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm outnumbered here.
That's right. Exactly. Quick update on the legislature in general. We have less than 50 days left, so we are cooking right along here. We end on May 7th. The Senate is expected to take up the budget next week. They are hoping to finalize it today or tomorrow, or Monday, I should say. As we've talked about for the last 6 months, they're 1.2 million in the hole. So it's going to be a rough reckoning at the legislature as the budget wraps up in the next couple of weeks, and then they have to vote on bills that are sitting in appropriations. So that will take the bulk of the next couple of weeks, really. Couple pieces of good news on construction defects that we have been talking about also for several years now. Representative Byrd's bill made it through committee last week. The bill passed 12-1, which is great news. It will be heard on the House probably next week. The other thing was the bill that the trial bar brought on construction defects that actually would increase litigation was killed in committee. So a couple good pieces of news there on construction defects. And then I'll pass it to the other gals.
You're on mute, Cami.
Yeah, I just wanted to update on the budget. This just happened this morning, and Senator Bridges announced the budget won't be introduced until the 31st. So he's delayed that another week. Go ahead, Cams.
You're still muted.
She's coming to my computer.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. 1096, the solar panel bill passed House Finance yesterday with a pretty significant strike below. Staff is in the process of reviewing that to see if that changes our position. 1273 stair modernization passed House Transportation, Housing, and Local Government on Tuesday, and that passed with a significant amount of amendments, actually 10. Staff is also in the process of reviewing those. 1169, God's Backyard Bill, passed out of the House, has been introduced in the Senate and assigned to Senate local government. It has not been calendared yet. Failure to appear, 62, did pass House Judiciary Party line. We had both Pete and Judge Day testified in opposition to that bill. So we'll continue to work on that. Whistleblower 1031 is calendared to be heard in committee on Tuesday. And 1146, the juvie bed bill, is calendared for Wednesday. And the last nugget that I will speak to is vehicle registration. We have been working hard counting the House floor. Right now, it's stalled on the calendar due to some negotiations that are still happening in conversations. I do want to thank Councilmember Jurinsky specifically for reaching out to the Republicans on the city's behalf. So happy to answer any questions.
Mayor Kaufman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. What, on the failure to appear bill, does it look like there's any amendments to, make that more tolerable?
Definitely may or not. I don't foresee any amendments that would
Right.
help us in the House right now. We might be able to do, I think we're not in a good place.
Has the governor given any signal as to what he's gonna do with that bill?
I have not. The governor has weighed more in on 1147 and has taken a firm position of opposition on that bill, but not firmly on 62.
Okay, and so our vehicle registration bill is having some challenges still? I thought it passed out of
Well,
committee pretty strong.
it passed out of House Appropriations last Friday on a vote of 8-3. It's my understanding from bill sponsors, there are some concerns from the members of the Black Caucus that the bill sponsors are working with them on.
Okay,
So we're kind of in a holding pattern, waiting to hear how those conversations are going and exactly what the concerns are or expectations are.
okay. And Senate Bill 1?
Senate Bill 1 still parked, Mayor, in Senate Appropriations, and we expect it to still sit there until the budget goes through.
Okay,
And that's
thanks.
where the bulk of the bills that the city's taken positions on are parked in appropriations, both on the House and Senate side.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Is there any questions from the committee? And then I have a question. Councilmember Hancock, Councilmember Jurinsky?
No.
Okay. I just have one question to Peggy, Tatsi, and Cami. So with the state being in $1 billion deficit, with some of these bills and the fiscal notes that are applied to some of them, is that going to be impactful in terms of some of them not passing?
That's exactly right. I think once they wrap up the budget in the next few weeks, those bills that have been parked there that Cami referenced, if they have a fiscal note of almost any amount, it's going to be really tough for sponsors to be able to get those bills out of appropriations.
Okay. Okay. That was my question because of just the deficit that they're having today. So just wanted to know about that.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much to all the work that you're doing down there with 50 more days to go. It seems like a long time, but it does go by fast. So I appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Thank you
But
guys. Have a
thank
great
you.
weekend.
You too. Bye. See you in a couple weeks. So we're going to go to our bill positions. So Liz, 4A.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Councilmember Lawson. So we have two bills to discuss today for support positions. The first one is House Bill 25-1290, Transit Worker Assault and Funding for Training. This bill comes from RTD, and it creates a specific criminal offense relating to assault of a transit worker and other kind of transit-related staff. The bill also changes the criminal offense of that to be assault in the 3rd degree. And then it would also increase the presence of law enforcement on transit to monitor conflicts for assaults. The city is recommending a support position. RTD has asked us to consider supporting the bill, and we don't see any issues to this. While it is a limited nexus to the city, we do believe that this kind of fits in with our priorities of helping to expand transit, make transit safer, and have that be a better experience for our community.
Okay, Councilmember Hancock, Councilmember Jurinsky, do you have any questions and do you support the city's position of support?
I have a question. Liz, with this providing more law enforcement on the transit system, that is from RTD, right?
Correct.
Solely from they're not
Yes.
looking for a partnership. Okay. Yeah, I support. Thank you.
Okay, I support as well. Councilmember Hancock?
Councilmember Jurinsky, you got my question. So yes, I support.
Okay, so we'll move that one forward, Liz. 4B.
Great. Next bill, House Bill 25-1276, court actions related to failure to appear in court. This bill does come out of CML. So essentially, this bill would address failure to appear in specific circumstances. There's a pretty lengthy summary in the backup document, but essentially, the city has active cases in this area where a defendant has failure to appear over 10 times. So we believe that the court should have discretion to impose a monetary considerations of a bond when there are threats of public violence or safety involved. So CML did ask us to support this bill. This bill also was brought up to me from Judge Day, who also believes we should be in support of this as well.
Okay, is there any questions from the committee? Mayor Kaufman? You're not
Okay,
in the
I have-
committee, but do you have a question, Mayor?
I have a question.
Okay, let's start with the committee members, Mayor. And Councilmember Jurinsky.
Yeah, Liz, can you just give me help me understand this, because the current bill about the failure to appear, which passed out of committee, is the only difference here is instead of imposing an additional charge or something punitive, is the only difference here that we're asking to be able to charge a fine? Is that the main, what is the difference here?
Yeah, so this bill adds to the conditions for a person that they may be required to give security to the defendant who previously failed to appear in a court 2 or more times. So we are able to kind of more officially utilize financial incentives and financial means to get them to come in, which is a bit different from the Senate Bill 62, which is specifically relating to failure to appear for cases that are not criminal trials.
Like traffic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand. Thank you. I support.
Okay, Mayor, Councilmember Hancock, before I go to the mayor, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, do you support the bill? The position of the city?
Yes.
Okay, I do as
Sorry.
well. Oh, no problem. I do as well. Mayor, do you have a
Thank you,
question?
Madam Chair. Liz, what is the bill again that says that we can't have penalties greater than what the state does?
That is 1147, fairness and transparency in court.
Okay, now, where is that right now? How's that bill doing?
Cammy, do you want to reiterate what
Sorry,
where
I
that is
missed
right now?
that,
No,
yeah.
it's fine. Oh no, we
You're
can't
on
hear you
mute.
again. I believe 1147. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, Councilmember Jurinsky.
Liz, I just was going to state that that's the one that the governor has come out and said that he's prepared to veto. So
Correct.
that is, it looks like it's going to pass, but that is the one that the governor specifically is talking about that he is going to
Good,
veto.
okay.
Mhm.
That's good.
But do you have an explanation just for the mayor, just so to address his question? Just can you explain it, Liz, again? So we
About where
know
the bill is currently?
the difference the difference? What is 1147? That's the question.
So 1147 is the Fairness and Transparency of Municipal Court Bill. So essentially that bill would prohibit municipalities from having sentencing laws that are greater than what is currently at the state
Okay.
level.
If I could, Madam Chair. So
Yes, go ahead.
what is the difference between the other bill, our failure to appear bill, and the failure to appear bill that's moving, the one we're supporting versus the one that's moving through the process?
So the
Well,
one that is,
can they both pass, or do they one cancel the other one out?
they can both pass. They do deal with very different specific instances.
Okay.
So Senate Bill 62, which is the one we are opposing, specifically relates to not allowing the charge of failure to appear to occur when it's not a criminal case. This bill, House Bill 1276, which is being led by CML, specifically relates to allowing municipalities to tie a monetary penalty to failure to appear.
Okay.
So it's same failure to appear, but like very different instances of what it occurs and what that means.
Is is it Senate Bill 62, which is the other failure there, the one we're
Yes.
opposing?
Yes.
I wonder if somebody could say, Chris or if somebody's from the courts could say how damaging that would be to us. Senate Bill 62.
So we have Deputy Chief Jewel on, and also I don't see Judge Day, but I did
Judge
see
Day is on.
Candace. Oh, Judge
Yep.
Day is on? Okay.
I'm here. Sorry for joining late. Got caught up. So I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, can you did you hear the mayor's question, Judge Day?
Yeah.
Okay, can you address that?
Absolutely. Just as Liz said, they're two separate things. The substantive charge of failure to appear, which would be a second charge, is different from what to do for a bench warrant for a failure to appear. And the second bill, which is the 1276 bill, deals with what courts can do after the court issues a bench warrant for the failure to appear. 62 takes away a tool that is currently on our city's books for addressing a secondary charge for failure to appear. It doesn't take away the court's power or authority to issue a bench warrant for the failure to appear, or if the court wanted to, which courts very rarely do, proceed with, after a previous advisement relating to contempt, deal with an indirect contempt proceeding. So there's a lot of nuance to all of it, but the short of it is this: 62 takes away a tool that we currently have on our books with the substantive charge of failure to appear. 1276 is a bill that we should support because it gives us additional tools as it relates to what the court can do after the issuance of a failure to appear bench warrant. And when the person is back before the court after being arrested on the bench warrant, what the court can do in the way of requiring some form of monetary bond, either as a cash or surety bond.
Can we do let's say we have a person who's, it's a trespass. It's a homeless individual who's harassing a business, and he's given, I guess, a summons to appear in court over a ticket or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And he doesn't show up. Then can we put out a warrant for that person's arrest?
Yes, we can. But
if Senate Bill 62 passes.
If Senate Bill 62 passes, we can still issue a warrant for the failure to appear. We can set at the time of issuing that bench warrant what the bond would be that the person would have to post. And it can't be a cash or surety bond, but when that person is arrested, they have to be brought before the court within 48 hours. They have to be told at the time of arresting that because of the charge of trespass is a petty offense, that they are they are required to be released on a PR bond once they appear before the judge. And so they are in custody for 48 hours until they see a judge. They get before a judge, and then the court must release them on a PR bond, which creates I think you're concerned, Mayor, and that's the revolving door
Right.
of just continually failing to appear, getting arrested, being released on a PR bond. What 1276 does is try to address that revolving door issue, that after a certain point in time, including the number of failure to appears, including the situation that if the case was set for trial and the person fails to appear, then the court would have the tools to require a cash surety bond before the person is released to ensure their next future court appearance.
So
Okay,
Judge Day,
right.
I just have a question, just to, Mayor, I'm sorry, just have a
No,
question
please.
to simplify this.
Yeah.
For me, you put a lot of language in
Yeah,
there, legalese in
yeah.
there. So Senate Bill 62 takes away the tool of the revolving door. No,
It takes away the option for the court to include a substantive charge of
Okay.
failure to
But
appear.
can you put it into the revolving door
Yeah,
issue that you said? Okay, so 12, even if Senate Bill 62 passes, that takes away the tool, right? Which addresses the revolving door, but then if 1276 passes in addition, we still have extra tools to address the revolving door situation.
yes. In a sense, the short answer is yes.
Okay,
If 62, which it made it out of, as we all know, made it out of House Judiciary, it's now on House floor. If it passes and is signed by the governor, it'll take away the charge of failure to appear, which if there's
Okay.
no modification to the current state statutes, which 1276 is trying to do. If 1276 doesn't pass, then the revolving door will get even quicker.
okay. Okay, that makes I'm sorry to put it kind of in more of a
No.
layman's terms here for me. So
Absolutely. Because there is a lot, I mean, it's a lot of nuance and you're trying to track two different things, but for the same kind of action by the defendant, and that's just missing court. But so you're absolutely right. It can get confusing because of just those two kind of parallel thoughts.
Okay, Mayor Kaufman?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Judge, but so we have to do a PR bond. Let's say that this Senate Bill 62 passes, then we have to do, and let's just take this home, because we're not doing any good by letting them stay on the street. We want to get them moved up to the chambers in I-70 place. But if they have a choice where they want to stay on the street, they'll stay on the street. So let's say you trespass somebody, they miss their court date, then there's a warrant, you pick them up on the warrant, you take them in, you can then hold them for how long before you have to do a PR bond? If Senate Bill 62 passes?
If 62 passes in 12, is it 1274? 1274 doesn't pass, we would be required to release them within 48 hours. They have to have a hearing within 48 hours. If you
We
go
can
past
hold, so we can hold them for up to 48 hours.
up to 48 hours. Yep,
Okay. And then we have to do a PR bond,
correct.
even if it's
That's-
multiple, even if it's like, even
Yep.
if they're serial, really? Ugh,
Yep.
okay.
Even if they have on their criminal history 100 failure to appears, you still have to, because of what has been passed down at the Capitol and what the restrictions are. If it's any charge of that is less than a misdemeanor, which trespass would be a petty offense, especially if 1147 passes, then we're required to release on a PR bond. There's no option. You cannot
So
hold
we
them.
can we change under the municipal code? To make it more than, to make habitual kind of trespass more than a petty offense? Can we make it a misdemeanor?
You could pass that, and you would have to, because the way 1147 reads,
If 1147 passes, then we're in trouble. Right, we can't do that.
because the way 1147 is it's adopting the sentencing structure of the state. It would keep trespass at a petty offense level. If with this new habitual trespass offender ordinance that you're thinking of, if there's no state counterpart statute to that, the way the language is of 1147, if there's no counterpart state statute, it defaults to a petty offense level. And petty offenses, you cannot require cash or surety bond.
But Liz, 1147, you said that the governor said he's going to veto.
Yes,
No,
that seems
Councilmember-
likely.
Yes,
Okay.
Councilmember
It's
Jurinsky
likely
stated that.
that he will. The governor's office has taken a official opposed position on the bill.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so that was a healthy debate. I mean, not debate, but a lot of questions. Judge Day, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Let's just go back because I can't even remember. I just want to make sure that we get a confirmed for HB 25-1276. Does the committee support the position of the city to support this bill? Councilmembers Hancock and Councilmember Jurinsky, can you re-say your votes? I just want to make sure we have them of record.
I support.
Okay, Councilmember Hancock? Okay, I support
I
as well.
support.
Okay, thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you.
Okay, we have our water update. Kathy, Water Conservation Rebate Tax Parity Act.
Good morning. I've got two items for support recommendation today, and you've seen both of these items before. Now that it's the 119th Congress, the Water Conservation Rebate Tax Parity Act has been reintroduced as Senate Bill 857 and House Bill 1871. And so this legislation would amend the Internal Revenue Code to expand the tax inclusion to water conservation efficiency measures. And so this is important to us because we do provide 1099s to customers that want to replace their toilets or their turf. And it would be taxable if they get an amount in aggregate over 600. So to remove that barrier, we would like to support this bill.
Okay, is there any questions from the committee to Kathy regarding this bill, and do you support the position of support? Councilmember Hancock.
Yes.
Councilmember Jurinsky. Councilmember Jurinsky?
Yes.
Okay, I support as well. We'll go to 5B, Kathy, Water Systems PFAS Liability Protection Act.
And likewise, now that we're in the 119th Congress, this one has been reintroduced as House Bill 1267. There's not a Senate companion bill yet, but this is the one that would exempt water providers from liability under the CERCLA Act for PFAS. And so, as you know, we don't produce PFAS. We are not the source of contamination, but if it is in our water supply when we treat it, then we have the water treatment residuals that may contain PFAS. And so we would like to support this bill so that we might have an exemption from CERCLA liability.
Is there any questions from the committee, and do you support this bill? Councilmember Hancock and Councilmember Jurinsky.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay, I support as well.
Thank
So
you.
thank
And I have one informational item for you as well. That's an emerging issue of concern, I'll call it. Just wanted to let FSIR know that we are watching some of the federal staffing and resource cuts. And it's right now a lot of noise. We don't have any specific details on what programs and what staff are being cut, but there's a lot of discussion on whether this might impact the ability for the federal government to help with wildfire prevention, suppression, and post-fire restoration. And then also just our ability to have data and technology for stream flow forecasting. So we're very dependent upon some of the federal programs for stream gauges, for snow telemetry, and for weather and climate data. And so we are watching the staffing cuts, and I just don't have anything specific today. But if you hear about it, we are watching about it, and our national water industry organizations have some concerns.
Okay, thank you, Kathy, for that. And I'm sure that we're all watching that because there's a lot of things going on in DC right now. So thank you for that update as well. State last minute bills. I do have one that I would like to have a question about, and just Judge Day and Chief, you guys could maybe address this. And I just wanted to know maybe why we're not taking a position or watching this. This is House Bill 25-1206, extreme indifference offenses not causing death. Now, I just summarized this, so please, if I'm getting this wrong, let me know. The bill changes the penalty for attempted first-degree murder when there's extreme disregard for human life. It classifies the crime as follows. A class 3 felony if seriously bodily injury occurs to anyone, a class 4 felony if bodily injury occurs to anyone, a class 5 felony if no injury occurs. Currently, the first-degree assault involves actions that show extreme disregard for life and create a serious risk of death causing serious injury. This bill repeals that offense. And I know here, Judge Day, that we don't really deal with this. I guess the reason why I'm bringing it up from the police side is if something like this happens, does it have a mechanism to the reporting? Like if we have a crime like this and it goes to state or the district courts, doesn't this have somewhat of an impact because it's repealing that offense that I just read? And if I'm getting this wrong and I just want to know, is this a bill that we should be monitoring or looking at? Could anybody respond?
Yeah. Madam Chair, I don't know the history of that bill because it's strictly a state bill.
So it is a state bill? Okay.
Yeah, it would only impact filings that go directly to the DA's office in their review. So I'll have to defer. And Chief Jewell, I don't know if you have information available. I haven't followed the bill, but I can absolutely look and get you information.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because if something like this, we have a first-degree assault, I'm just talking from the police side, doesn't this impact how this is reported to the DAs or to the state on these cases? And if so, is this something that we should be looking at? Deputy Chief Jewell, I mean, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, I need to do a little bit of research on that, I think. It might affect how it's filed, but I don't know that as far as the outcome, whether or not it would make a substantial difference. But I'll have to do a little bit of research on that and get back to you if that's okay.
Okay, well, I was just bringing it up because this is a section where I can bring up last minute bills. Liz?
So we are monitoring that at a staff level right now. Currently, there is a significant amount of opposition to that bill. So, and it also hasn't been calendared right now. So I would like to see how it plays out before we start getting engaged. The city is engaging heavily in several other different areas of legislation right now. And I want to be very mindful of how we continually take positions, as I don't want it to impact our work on 1147, Senate Bill 62, or motor vehicle registration bill. So we are watching it very closely.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're monitoring it, but in this section, I am allowed to bring up bills that I feel that have some type of connection, Liz. So I'm glad that we're monitoring it. I think it is something to monitor because anything that says that repeal, that has an impact to our police department, even how we're filing reports could be impactful as well. And I understand we're doing the other bills, but I think this is something that I'm glad that we are at least monitoring. And I would like to maybe keep updated on it as well. So,
Councilmember
okay.
Lawson.
Yes.
Councilmember Lawson.
Yes.
Yeah, I also have concern over this bill. I think if we're talking about the same one, you said first degree assault, but I believe that this bill is changing first degree attempted murder
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
from
right.
a class 2 felony down to potentially somewhere between a class 3 and a class 5 felony.
Okay.
If it was a first degree assault, I would agree that it probably doesn't need to be R-rated, but this is actually reclassifying first degree murder.
Okay.
And so I think specifically, Chief Jewell, if you would familiarize yourself with this bill, Liz, definitely, I love that you're staying focused on what you're staying focused, but from the law enforcement side, I also find this to be a little nerve-wracking that they are trying to lower attempted first degree murder from a class 2 felony potentially down to a class 5 felony. And if it looks like this is going to grow legs, I would really like for us to be in a position to go down there with law enforcement, Judge Day, potentially you. Again, Judge Day, we don't deal with this much in Colorado, so maybe not so much you, but Chief Jewell, definitely our police department, because this is attempted first degree murder we're talking about. I also find it very, very serious.
So, Councilmember Jurinsky, just to clarify, So I'm looking at House Bill 25. So this indifference offense is not causing death.
Yeah, it's attempted first degree murder, but you
I'm
were saying
looking at
first degree assault.
well, I'm
So
looking at um, the bill summary.
yeah, so it doesn't cause murder. It's not murder. That's why it's attempted first degree murder. You were just saying first degree assault.
Well, I summarized it, so I'm sorry. Like I said, I summarized this based on, I didn't capture the whole paragraph, like of what it is. I just kind of summarized it, and then
Yeah.
that is in some of the bill there. It does talk
Yeah.
about assault as well.
That's
So,
okay. I
okay,
just wanted to express how
okay,
grave this really is, that we're talking, I mean, we're talking about first degree attempted murder. And I
okay,
just wanted to also support you in the sense that I do think that it should be on PD's radar.
okay. So thank you for that, Councilmember Jurinsky, and clarifying as well. So Chief Jewel, I would like for this to, if you could run this by the chief, or I think that this, to me, is something we should look at. I understand we're looking at the other bills, but to me, anything that's going to repeal something, I think it should be looked at. Judge Day, did you have a comment on this, or? Okay. Okay, so I would, right now, are we good with the monitoring from the committee? And then we'll get an update from Chief Joel through Liz, maybe? Liz, did you have a comment? And then I'll go to Mayor Kaufman.
Yeah, the mayor raised his hand before me. I don't want to step in front of the
Okay,
mayor.
Mayor Kaufman, do you have a question on this or any other updates?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. This would really, I just think this is a real pro-criminal type,
You're,
anti-victim.
I can't hear you, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think this is a real
You're
pro-criminal,
still muted.
anti-victim, um, bill, and I think it's got bipartisan opposition from the district attorneys. I think both. I think Amy Padden, our 18th Judicial District Attorney, is against it, and a number of Republicans. So it's got bipartisan opposition from the DAs. But yeah, I think if we take a position, I think we should, and it would be in opposition.
Okay. That's, I mean, Liz, go ahead.
Thank you. So, Pete Schulte and I, our city attorney, and we have talked about this legislation per our conversations, and he did give me the go-ahead to share this, that he's not currently concerned with it as written, as it doesn't currently change our laws as a municipality, and it also adds additional charges. I think if you as a committee would like to take a position, more than happy to do that, but I'm also happy to send out more of a thorough analysis via email too.
Okay, I understand Pete has given that information to one of my colleagues as well, which I don't totally agree with him. So with my committee, would you like to get more of a thorough summary of this before, right now we're in a monitoring position, but would you like to get a thorough a summary of this before we take another position? Councilmember Jurinsky, Councilmember Hancock, what's your input?
I mean, I haven't received any more thorough information. I heard about this from one of the state representatives. I think for me, it's pretty clear cut. This is, I think we absolutely should oppose this now, and just to be ready. Should this grow legs, like I said, just should this grow legs, I think our PD should really be ready to jump on this, but I don't think I need any further
Okay.
information.
Yeah, and I kind of agree, because I know yesterday, looking at this, it was on House Committee on Judiciary Witness Testimony and Discussion yesterday, on the 19th. So I don't know what the outcome of that was, but for me, I understand what city attorney, and I respect his decision, but I think for me, I would like to take an oppose on this as well. So
I would
Council.
concur. I would
So-
concur with that because I found the language really concerning, and the fact that it has bipartisan opposition also really raises red flags as well. And just the idea that, this could be something that would be detrimental not only to our public, but to our police officers. I would agree. But I'm also in favor of getting more information to Liz. If you could provide that, that would be good too.
Okay. Okay, is there any more state last minute bills that any of the committee members would like to bring forward, or that they know about that we need to discuss? Okay, I don't hear anything. Is there any federal bills? I'm sorry, Liz, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, just really quickly for me and staff and for the record. So is the committee taking an official opposed position on 1206? Are we voting yes on that? I just want to make sure that like I know what to do and that we have that record.
Yeah, we'll go through the roll call here. Councilmember Jurinsky, do you take an official position of HB 25-1206?
Yes, I oppose.
Okay, Councilmember Hancock, do you oppose?
Yes, I oppose.
And I oppose as well.
Great. Thank you all so much.
Okay, so let's go back to last minute federal bills. Is there anything that anyone knows about that wants to speak? Okay, I don't hear anything. Miscellaneous matters for consideration. Is there anything from miscellaneous from the committee or anyone on this Zoom? Okay, all right, our next meeting, thank you for a great meeting. Our next meeting is confirmed on April 4th at 11 a.m. and that will be in person. So thank you everybody for attending and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you,
Bye.
Chair.